Right, and hello there folks. In this video what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at and talking about sea fishing hooks, and just having a look at the types of sea fishing hooks I use and what I use them for, and just give you like a kind of like a beginner's guide to sea fishing hooks really. It can be quite daunting when you go into the tackle shop, you have a look around and the wall is full of hooks. So hopefully this video will be able to just tell you a couple of the different hooks that I use, and the most common used hooks in sea fishing. And it'll give you like a rough idea of where to start. Right, and so to start off with, what we're going to do is just look at the hook. So here is a hook. This is quite a big hook, to be fair. This is a Coxon Rule 80 meat hook. What we're going to do is going to look at the hook and just I'm just going to give you a rough idea of the parts of the hook and things like that. So we're going to start off at the top. So right at the top here, the circular bit is the eye. This is where the line connects to your fishing hook. The shank, which is here, which runs from the eye down to the start of the curve. This part is the curve. This part is the business end, which is the point, which is there. Most sea fishing hooks are barbed. As you can see at the bottom of the hook, there is a barb there. And then this part between here and here is called the gape. Right, so this is the Camazan B940 Aberdeen pattern hook, probably one of the most popular hooks that you can get, widely available from most tackle shops, and they range from sizes. So these are the different types of sizes I use. So J hooks, like I said, are the most common and versatile hook that you'll find out there sea fishing. A lot of people use them, and they're very popular. So we start off with this size here. This is a size 6. I personally myself don't tend to use this size hook. I find it's a little bit too small. People that use them will be probably match fishing guys, may drop down to a size 6 for scratching and things like that. So I don't really use them. I haven't really ventured into using them, but I do have them if need be. So these are the hooks that I use all the time. This one here is size 4. This one I use for sole fishing and for scratching around. So if I'm having a really bad day and things aren't going to plan, I'll drop down to the hook size 4. This one here, the size 2, is probably the most common hook size that you get. Most pre-made rigs, like this one here from the Angler's Den, will use a size 2 hook, which is there in the packet somewhere. There. Moving up then, you've got a 1.0. I use this for place fishing, and then lastly you've got a slightly bigger 6.0, which is here. Again, I use that for bass fishing. I haven't done much bass fishing this year, but when I do go out and do it, that will be the hook that I use. Bass have quite big mouths, and a larger hook is needed for them. I've noticed a lot of people have caught big fish on small hooks, so don't let the size fool you. They're absolutely razor sharp, and they're just great all-round hooks. So that's the Camazan B940, and that is the J hook. Another hook then, which is getting quite a lot of attention recently due to the fact of the dongle rig being used more often. If you haven't know, or you don't know what the dongle rig is, I'll do a whole video on the dongle rig at some point. But yeah, the dongle rig is basically a rig where the hook is there. There's a trail of braid underneath, and the bait sits underneath the hook. So we'll go into that in more details in another video. So just looking at this hook then, it's got a larger curve with a wider gape, and the main point is here, and this is the circle bit here. So circle hooks are designed to catch in the mouths of fish, which helps prevent deeper and sometimes potentially life-threatening injuries to the gut and gills of fish. So I mean, from a catch and release purpose, I know a lot of people use them in the States. They haven't really clocked on much over here. I mean, if you go boat fishing, I know a lot of people use circle hooks on the bream and things like that. But for shore fishing, the most popular hook is still the J pattern, which is there. So one to look out for. If you like, catch and release purposes and you want to return fish, definitely give them a go. I haven't given much of a go myself personally, but I will be trialing them in the future with various different sizes, and maybe just seeing what maybe do a comparison between the two actually in a future video. But yeah, that is a circle hook there. Other hooks I use on the bigger side are the 6.0 and the 8.0 Cox and Rawl meat hooks, and I use those for when I go conger fishing during the winter. That is the only time I'll use them, or if I go out on the boat. They're, you know, popular hooks that people use out on the boat. So yeah, so they are the meat hooks. Much larger hook, much thicker, still used, much stronger, and the points again razor sharp. Other hooks I use then, if I'm fishing 2 rods, I'll use 1 rod on a 2-hook flapper with the size 2 small hooks as shown here, and then on my other rod I'll throw out a big bait, and I like to use the Cox and Rawl hooks on my big bait rod, a mixture between the surf and uptide hooks in various sizes, the Mutsu circles and the octopus hooks as well. One of my favourite configurations from Cox and Rawl is to use a Specimen X or a surf and uptide at the bottom, and an octopus hook at the top. I use this for when targeting things like smooth hounds and rays, and 9 times out of 10 you'll usually find that they do hit the top hook, and this kind of acts as like a bait support at the bottom. Right, so just lastly, the last hook I want to touch upon just before we end this video is this hook here. Now this is a treble hook, called a treble hook obviously because it's got 3 barbed prongs on it. You don't really tend to use these for shore fishing, off the shore itself, casting off the shore. They're more used for lure fishing, and attached to lures, but we'll go over that in a more in-depth video about lures going forward. Right guys, so I hope you've got something from this video. That is pretty much nearly all of the different hooks that I use and the uses for them. Just to recap then, so I use the small size 4 Aberdeen hooks, the Camazans, for things like sole. The general hook size I use is a size 2 if I'm fishing a 2-hook flapper, or a 2-hook clip down rig during the summer in the daytime sessions that we do. Maybe move up to a 1.0 for targeting bigger species, the 6.0 for targeting bass, the 8.0s and meat hooks with a bigger, thicker gauge steel. I use them on the boats, maybe targeting the conger off the shore, and the circle hooks is one that I haven't really tend to use yet, but if you're into catch and release, it might be something to look at going forward in your fishing journeys. If you are lost, don't forget, like I said, head into your local tackle shops, ask the guys behind the counter, they'll definitely point you in the right direction. Loads of different tackle shops have loads of different hooks that I haven't mentioned, so you know, do have a look around and you'll be able to find some that you know, can be recommended to yourselves from these people that work in the shops that are local to you. All failing that, if you are still lost and you know, you're unsure, pick up some of these pre-made rigs. They're usually tied by you know, local guys that know what they're doing, and hopefully they'll be you know, good for you to start off with. Huge thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.